stinging always comes up. And as you can see here, there's a lot of times, even in extreme conditions, like using a chainsaw to cut open a fallen tree to save a colony, that you can often work around them with little or no worry of being stung. But often one of the first questions we hear is, how many times have you been stung? Well, asking a beekeeper how many times they've been stung may not be the right question, because if you're talking to someone who's regularly around a lot of bees, it'd probably be better to ask how many times have you been stung today, because that might be easier for us to remember. I will use a veil and a long sleeve shirt. It kind of depends on the bees.
Did you see all those bees? Hold on. I want to make sure it showed up.
I will use a veil and a long sleeve shirt. It kind of depends on the bees.
Okay. So, my kitties are about to fight. Shh. Sullivan. Sullivan wants to go outside so bad right now, but it is time to stay in the house. And Stewie too. I know. Shh. I know, honey, but you gotta stay inside now. It's late. You're so cute. Yes, you are. You are so cute. You wanna say hi? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come say hello. Come say hello. This is Stewie. Stewie is in the house. Okay. No, not the microphone. Okay. You have to go down now. Go. Go down. Stewie, go down. Come on. Come on, down. Come on, Stewie. Sorry about that. No, Stewie.
There's another question we hear a lot. Honeybees really die when they sting? Well, if they sting other insects, no. But if they sting something with elastic skins like ours, unfortunately most of the time the answer is going to be, yeah, they die. But there are exceptions, and it doesn't take long with honeybees to learn that there's always going to be exceptions. Take this little bee, for instance. I'm going through a small hive, and a few minutes into the inspection, she decided to get me out of there. At this point, she's about a minute into trying to get her stinger free. She's not about ready to fly off and leave part of herself stuck.
You can't see that too good. Let me go.
Normally, she'd have stung me, and the stinger's barbs would have caught in my skin as she pulled away.
So
on
that's
the tip
the
of her
venom
abdomen
sac.
with the stinger and the venom sac. Sometimes even some of her insides would be stuck in my skin. Then the muscles in the venom sac would work the stinger deeper into the skin, pumping the venom sac until it's empty. Roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes, the bee will be dead, venom sac will be pumped out, and the stinger will be still. But now this little gal, she's not having any of that. She hadn't given up.
Fuck. Okay. So, today we are going to talk about bees. And we're going to look at pictures of bees and see video of bees and see how beautiful they are, how cute and chubby and plump they are. And I am going to tell you a bee story from my past. So I hope that will be interesting for you. I found this video just recently and I think it's the perfect video for my video. So let us watch clips of this video and then I'll pause it in between when I have something to say about my bee story. This is such a cute video.
Here's another question we hear a lot. Honeybees really die when they sting? Well, if they sting other insects, no. But if they sting something with elastic skins like ours, unfortunately most of the time the answer is going to be, yeah, they die. But there are exceptions, and it doesn't take long with honeybees to learn that there's always going to be exceptions. Take this little bee, for instance.
That's
I was
his
going through a
farm.
small hive, and a few minutes
see
into the
that right
inspection, she decided to get
That's
me
his
out of there.
farm.
At this point, she's about a minute into trying to get her stinger free. She's not about ready to fly off and be part of herself stuck in my arm. Normally, she'd have stung me, and the stinger's barbs would have caught in my skin as she pulled away, and the tip of her abdomen with the stinger in the venom sac, sometimes even
That's
some of her
the
insides
venom
would be
sac,
stuck
so
in my
remember
skin.
that one.
Then the muscles in the venom sac would work the stinger deeper into the skin, pumping the venom sac until it's empty. Roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes, the bee will be dead, venom sac will be pumped out, and the stinger will be still.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about bees. And why am I going to talk about bees? Well, as some of you know, I am growing a small garden in my front patio, and this apartment that I moved into already has some, what is it called? Morning glories growing, and they were growing on the ground and sort of like that, just growing, creeping across the ground. So what I did was put up some trellises, so now they are going up, and because I am watering them, they are really, really growing, and they were looking beautiful. They had the beautiful purple flowers. There's a dark purple and a light purple, and in the early morning they would bloom open, and at dusk they would bloom open, and during the day they would close up and sleep. So I began to notice that some of the leaves were developing holes, and at first I was like, it's normal. There's supposed to be holes in leaves. So, but very soon after that, I noticed that the leaves were really getting holes quite rapidly, like warp speed ahead. And so I did a little research and found that I have some aphids, a lot of aphids actually. They pretty much wiped out the beautiful trellised vines of morning glory. The leaves are like totally wiped out. The flowers, for some reason, they don't like, I guess, the taste of the flowers. So they still look very beautiful as they bloom, but the leaves look really, really bad. So what I did was I cut back all the leaves, and I went on the computer and did a little research on how to get rid of aphids. And I read two things that caught my attention. The first being, it said neem oil, and that is NEEM, neem oil, and that is an essential, what is that? love so much. I digress. Where was I? Yes, so the bugs, the aphids, the holes, I cut it all back, and now it's just a waiting game to see if the new leaves that grow, if they grow without being eaten. So we will see. But as I was out in the garden, I got to thinking about the bees, because there are so many bees. They must love Morning Glory because there are so many beautiful bees. Not so many where it feels like, wow, there's so many bees. Not like that. There's really not so many bees, but there's bees, and they're a beautiful presence. And it got me thinking about how I used to love the bees when I was a little kid, and how bees were, out of all the things that I could do, playing with the bees was the top of my list. That was all I wanted to do. And then the second was the bird's nest, which, another story. But the bees, oh my god, I love the bees. So I think this video is so cute, and we'll watch more of it, and I'll talk more about the bees.
But now this little gal, she's not having any of that. She hasn't given up yet. At one point, I thought about bringing the edge of my hive tool out, scrape out the stinger so she could fly away, but then I thought I'd just give her a little more time, see what she'd do. That's been over 2 minutes. She's still working to get loose. She tries pulling, spinning one way and another, even grabbing at the stinger with her hind leg. Now, obviously, she's had no experience of losing her stinger, but she appears very well aware if she pulls too hard, she'll die. About 2.5 minutes later, she worked herself free. Well, then there's this little lady, a couple minutes later. She prefers going only counterclockwise, it seems. Now, although it does appear that way, bees are not aggressive. They are defensive. Stinging is the last thing they want to do, and will only sting when they feel threatened. The problem with that is sometimes other things have already got to them and ticked them off before we get there. She works at it with the same effort and awareness as the rest of them, and she gets free in about 30 seconds. Well, this little gal, just a couple minutes later, again in the same hive, she's really getting after it. She seems to prefer going only clockwise. Now, don't you think it's odd that the barbs hold the stinger so tight it can't be pulled out, but it won't twist off, no matter which way or how many times they spin? It takes her only 25 seconds to get free. The only thing I did different was give them time to get loose. So wait a minute, that's it. Maybe if I could just talk all you folks into waiting and letting the bees spin around for a while rather than slapping at them right away when they sting, just think of how many more bees would get free and be alive just like this. And are you with me on this? And see, we could use slogans like, just give them time and they'll be fine, or don't slap that bee, give them time to work free. You think?
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah, probably not. Anyway, in the meantime, just please remember, bees don't fly out of their hive looking for some...
This beautiful scene right here would be such a pleasure to play in. When I was a kid, I would look for those type of flowers, because in those kind of flowers, you're going to find those cute little moths. They're brown moths. I'll put a picture so you can see. They're very basic brown moths. I love them. And they would be like friends with the bees, with the honeybees, and they would always be together. Like, you would always see like a bee and one of those brown moths always on the flower, always together, hand in hand. So I really grew quite fond of the moths as well. So my favorite game would be playing with the honeybees. Like, I would just pluck them right off of a flower or the grass or wherever. First, I would have to say, but first, I knew this is probably a game that I shouldn't be playing, because I remember I would always play this game in privacy, like behind my mom's sheets where she couldn't see me, right where the garden is, where there's a lot of beautiful flowers and things like that. And so I knew to do it in privacy, but it was never out of of like, I was never nervous. I never even thought to be nervous of playing with the bees. I was so drawn and attracted to them, so drawn to them, like a moth to a flame, just so drawn. I would just put them all over me, and I'd give them little kisses, and so I was never scared of them. But I knew that it's probably not a good thing to play with bees. Like I knew that it would be looked at as a negative thing to do, so I always made sure to do it in secret. And so yeah.
The sole desire of a honeybee is to fly out, bring back food and supplies to their colony, and then fly back out and do it all over again. You know, the way things are anymore, that can be pretty challenging for them. So the challenge for us is to provide them with a secure, clean environment and healthy food sources. That kind of sounds like something we'd all benefit from, doesn't it?
See the little, that little fuzzy sort of worm. I'm not sure. I think that might be a butterfly worm. But, so I would play with the bees, and one afternoon I remember the day. It was a really beautiful sunny day, and I was playing in the shade, and I was playing with the little bee, and he was, I don't know, he or she, but on my finger like this. And this is the thing that I'm not quite sure about, but I don't quite remember if in that moment when, like the moment right before the bee stung me, if I had a moment of doubt, or if that moment of doubt came afterwards. I'm not sure exactly, but I remember as the bee stung me, I remember the bee falling down to the ground, and I was just looking at my finger, and there was the venom sac in this little barb sort of thing, and it was just pulsating into my finger, and I was just looking at it like, and I looked at it until it was done, and I just plucked it out, and it was so painful. Oh my god. And so I went inside, and I had my hand under the cold water forever, until my mom said from the upstairs bedroom, "Turn off the water." And I was like, oh no, I can't. So I got ice, and I put it in a towel, and I just like had it wrapped up, and I remember I had to keep this hidden. I couldn't let anyone know. And so I went to my best friend's house, who lived right next door, and she was like, oh my god. And by then my hand had just swollen up so big, and I could barely move it. It was like a glove, you know. And then so I was on the porch at her house, and my mom is driving down the driveway, and she turns into the street, and she calls me over to tell me something. I think she was going to the store, and by that time my hand had swollen up so big. I'm gonna get some gum. This gum looks like, you could tell this is some vegan gum. It is so natural looking, like little pieces of bark. It's cinnamon, the cinnamon gum. Like little pellets. I like it a lot. And when she calls me to where I am, I show her my hand because I was in so much pain at that point. And she was so mad at me. And she was mad at me, which means she knew what I was doing. Wait a minute. She was mad at me because she knew she may have warned me against doing this, and I just completely like ignored her warnings. It was like, no way, man, this is so fun. So she was so mad at me, which is that's a telling example. That's a telling emotion, because if I had just gotten stung and I hadn't provoked it in some way, she wouldn't have been mad. Yeah. So yeah, I got stung. Oh, and I remember when I'm looking at that stinger go into my, just pulsating into my skin, I had a huge feeling of betrayal. Like, I looked at that bee and I was so betrayed. Like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe I was just stung. Like, I remember feeling so strongly about that. Like, how dare you sting me? I'm your friend. I'm your family. No, this is another memory I'm not sure if I just made up, or I don't want to believe I did that. But the next memory is me just like smashing the shit out of that bee. Like, so mad. I was so pissed off. Like, you're gonna do that to me? Oh, hell no. I'm just like, shh. So, I don't know if that's true, if I did that, or that's just what I think I did. But I was 6, 7, so. So, with that completely, like, I don't know what broke the spell. From that day on, I was not fearless of bees anymore. I was like that of bees, and it's like the magic left me, and I wanted it so bad not to. I remember feeling like I miss my friends so much, but I don't have it. Like, I would try to go and play the game again. I would try to do it, but I couldn't do it. It just, because I always had this fear, and I felt like the bees would just smell it, and they would just sting me again, and I did get stung again, but that had nothing to do with me playing with the bees. That was just, I was playing softball, and I went to grab the ball, and I grabbed a bee, and I was like, oh, I'm about to get stung, and I did. Right when I thought that. So, the spell's gone. The spell is gone. But it was strong when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I played that game, and it was just amazing. Such a good game. Such a fun game. So I wonder, like, when I see beekeepers, and I think of them as like my brethren, like, I should be with you. I should be part of your family, you know? And then, what was that movie? I think it was like in the 90s, a movie where this country girl totally was like the bee whisperer, and she would go to swarms of bees and stand before the bees, and everyone would look in admiration. What was that movie? I'll think of it. Yes, that movie. When that came out, I was like, that's me. I wonder if it's like a thing, like something you're born with. Because I really do feel very close to other bee people. I wonder what that is. stuff, like all this stuff to scare people about bees. I just like to see some really nice footage. The silence of the bees. What does that mean? Oh, look, I already started watching it and I stopped for some reason. Oh, look at that spider. God, I don't like to watch things about spiders. That's just not for me. The bee beard. I never had any of those thoughts. No. Oh my god, I remember once I was walking home from school and you know, back then you walk home from school, it could be a mile, 2 miles away, and you're walking home from school. It's just a normal, natural thing. So you would cut through different neighborhoods or go through backyards and stuff like that. So I was going through this neighborhood that I usually go through, but not always, and there was this tree and it had like this crack in the trunk, and I noticed bees were going in and out of it, and so I look in there, and right as I look into the crack of the tree, I see this beautiful gold amber, just like, I think there was a sunbeam like right into that tree at that time, like around 3:10 in the afternoon, and I saw all this glistening honey. Oh my god. I literally felt like I was in heaven. And at that point I had already been stung, but I was still very attracted to the bees. But I even put my hand in there. I remember I put my hand in there. I remember bees on my hand a little bit, not a lot. But I do remember them like swiping up against my hand a little bit. And I didn't go and I couldn't do it, but this big boy did. And I never got to taste that honey. Not even one time. That boy did not share that honey. That was like a trauma for me, to see bees in the wild like that. I mean, living in that tree with all that honey was like Narnia, you know? That was my Narnia moment. And that boy did not share that honey, and he had a huge piece of it. It was a huge honeycomb, and it glistened, and it was light and dark in color, and he was eating it. Ugh. I was so sad. You know, as I really think about this deep memory, more and more is coming to my head about that. I think I may have tried the honey, like a little bit of it dropped on the side of the tree or something like that. Oh my gosh. I think so. I think I may have had a little bit from a little drop, you know, like just a tiny bit, just to know that there was a sweetness to it, but not real. I really didn't get a good taste. But then these could all just be repressed memories that aren't actually memories, and I'm making it all up. I remember seeing him hold up a
everywhere. They number in the billions and trillions. They create cities and colonies. Their race is older than
These are the videos I cannot
and over
stand.
the millions of years of their existence,
Look how
they
it-
have captured
he sounds.
virtually all the territories on Earth.
I don't like these videos. He sounds so
It was they who brought the
frantic.
first cellular
Oh,
technology
God.
to the planet, which is more than
Bees.
100
They're here to kill
years old. They also carry out almost all of the Earth's pollination.
But I
helping
like that sort
produce
of
food for millions of other living beings.
video
Beware, however,
where you could see them
as these
fly.
cunning, calculating, perfectly organized warriors of the steppes and
Look at how
forests
cute.
carry a mortal
Look
danger
at.
to all living things that come their way and try to
Oh my god.
calculate
Oh
perfectly
my god.
organized
Shit.
steps
Look how
and
cute they're little
forests
leg
carry
warmers.
a mortal danger to all living things that calculated, perfectly organized warriors of the steppes and
So
forests
cute.
carry
I don't like this person talking. I really want to find this video. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, I think this is it.
This is an incredible calamity. It represents an incredible loss.
We're talking maybe a third of bees.
Oh, I don't think this is it.
disappeared. That's 800,000 hives of bees.
Scientists now race to solve an urgent mystery.
This isn't
Following
it.
a trail of
Damn it.
clues from the United States to southern France, from
Oh, this is it, I think. I think this is it.
radiocarbon dating showed it was over 100 million years old. The bees once primitive
Oh my god.
full of bees, and at that point, I just couldn't run anymore. I just had no more muscle. So I ended up getting on my knees and my elbows, crouched down, and I took my hands and just
being a more defensive kind of honeybee.
Attack anything that moves, anything.
Dude drinks a gallon of honey. Dude drinks a gallon of honey while covered in bees. Warning, vomit alert. Okay. Do not attempt anything in this video, okay? Let me turn the volume on. Oh god, how long is this video? It's 11 minutes. Oh, I love that. That's to, that cartoon from my day. What was that cartoon again? Roadrunner? You guys remember the Roadrunner?
LA Beast here. Today I have two goals.
One is to drink this entire gallon of honey, which contains over 24,000 calories. And the second,
Oh my god.
to drink this gallon of honey, which contains over 24,000 calories, while completely covered in honeybees.
I've never seen this video, by the
I think I'm
way.
gonna need the spirit of the Ultimate Warrior on this one today, because I hate honey. I'm deathly afraid of bees. My life.
Beast, how's it going? How you feeling?
Nerves are getting to me. We're about 2 miles out from meeting David, who is an expert beekeeper since 1979. And, you know, he assured me that as long as I'm... This is so thick.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but not now. It's so thick. Oh god. Okay, I'm not gonna watch that anymore. I'm done. All done. All done. Good night, guys.
If you see
That's a good spot. Bye bye, truck. Bye bye. You can lay right back down. Bye bye, truck. Much better.